President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken one strong step that is making many Nigerians talk. And the step is about bringing history back into our schools as a compulsory subject. For many years, Nigerian children were not learning history properly. Back in 2007, history was removed from the curriculum, and since then, many of the young generation have grown up not knowing who we are, where we are coming from, and what our nation has passed through. That gap made it easy for many people to forget the real story of Nigeria and sometimes to believe only what they are told by politicians or certain groups. Now, Tinubu says no more. He wants history back in every classroom. And as we talk about this, please remember, if you are enjoying the gist, like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on other important stories. Now, some people are calling this move more than just education reform. They say it is also a way of breaking down entitlement thinking in Nigeria. You may have heard the phrase about Fulani Entitlement mentality, meaning the idea that some people or some groups see themselves as naturally entitled to leadership or special privilege in the country. Whether we accept that phrase or not, one truth is clear. When young people learn real history, they can question false entitlement. They can know that leadership has always changed hands, that different tribes and groups have played big roles in building Nigeria, and that no group is bigger than the country itself. Do you see why many are connecting Tinubu's action to this larger debate? But let me remind you again, as we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now because we are only getting started and you will not want to miss the rest. The government has already set things in motion. They are training more than 3,000 teachers across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. These teachers are being prepared so that when history returns fully into the classrooms, students will not just be reading empty notes, but really understanding the story of Nigeria. From primary school children up to junior secondary school students, history will be taught in detail. The small children will be taught about our origins, our culture, our heroes, and how our community started. They will learn about traditional rulers, the rich cultural heritage across Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Tiv, Efik, and many more groups. They will also learn about colonial rule, about independence in 1960, and about the leaders who have carried the country forward since then. When they move to junior secondary, they will now meet deeper topics like the empires of West Africa, the slave trade, colonialism, amalgamation in 1914, military rule, and democratic governance. This is powerful because it gives them a foundation to understand Nigeria in full, not just what one person tells them. And please, as I'm explaining this, if you are still with me, like this video and subscribe to this channel because that small action helps us keep bringing you news and gist in the best way possible. One important part of this gist is the reason why history was even removed before. The story goes that around 2007, the government then said students were not interested in history and also that there were not enough jobs for history graduates. They also said there were not enough qualified teachers, so they merged it with social studies. But many people disagreed with that decision. They said that by removing history, Nigeria was removing memory, and a people without memory is like a tree without roots. For over 10 years, we have seen the effect. Many young Nigerians cannot even tell the difference between the amalgamation of 1914 and independence in 1960. Many do not know the names of heroes who fought for this nation. Many cannot tell the struggles during civil war or how the military regimes changed the country. So when you remove history, you create a generation that can easily be manipulated. That is why this new step by Tinubu is so important. Please don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe because we are going deeper into this story and you don't want to miss the flow. Now let's talk about how people are reacting. Many historians, education experts, and parents are happy. They say this is long overdue. They believe that with history back, students will grow with better identity, stronger values, and a sense of belonging to the nation. But there are also critics. Some are saying, yes, you have announced the policy, but where is the funding? Where are the textbooks? Where are the teacher salaries? How do you make sure every village, every small town, every state, both north and south, east and west, all get the same quality? And that is a real question, because if some schools get it right while others are left behind, then the results will not be balanced. So this is where the government must prove it is serious. Again, if you are listening, do me one favor, like this video and subscribe, because we must keep talking about this until change is real. Now, let us connect this to the bigger issue. The headline that said Tinubu cripples Fulani entitlement mentality is not an official statement, but more of a political interpretation. Why? Because the government has never said this policy is targeted at one group. They present it as a national reform for every Nigerian child. But still, the idea is strong, because when history is taught properly, no one group can claim Nigeria belongs only to them. Every student will learn that Nigeria was built by many hands. They will learn about the Igbo leaders that fought for independence, about Yoruba thinkers and politicians that shaped democracy, about Hausa leaders that pushed for unity, and even about minority groups that defended freedom. This wide understanding can cut down entitlement thinking. And please, as we continue, click like, click subscribe, because your support keeps this channel growing. So, one thing we must understand is that history is not only about remembering dates or names. History is about shaping the mind. A child that learns history properly will grow up with wisdom to understand what is happening around him. For example, when a student learns about colonialism, they will see how Nigeria was divided and ruled, and they will know that many of the issues we fight about today, borders, ethnic disagreements, lack of unity, some of them started because of how our past was handled. When they learn about the independence struggle, they will know that people from all tribes stood together to get freedom, not just one tribe. When they learn about civil war, they will understand why unity is fragile and why we must protect it. These lessons can guide the next generation to make better choices than the mistakes of the past. Please, my people, as you are following me in this gist, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because you supporting us means more of this real talk will continue to reach you. Now, let's look at the issue of entitlement. Some people believe certain groups in Nigeria see themselves as entitled to always rule or always enjoy power. This has created many arguments and sometimes even conflict. But think of what happens when all children in all regions are taught the same history. They will see the record for themselves. They will see that Nigeria has had leaders from different parts, that no one tribe has monopoly of leadership. They will see that heroes come from every corner, east, west, north, south. That is where history becomes a tool to balance entitlement thinking. When everybody knows the truth, false entitlement cannot stand strong. And my dear viewers, let me remind you once again, if you are enjoying this discussion, like this video now and subscribe to the channel, because more powerful gist is still coming. Another point is the power of narrative. Whoever controls what is taught in schools controls the story that children grow up with. That is why this reform must be handled carefully. We must ask, who will write the textbooks? Will they tell the full truth, or will they select only the parts that favor certain groups? For example, will they teach the full story of the Civil War, or will they hide some painful parts? Will they honor heroes from minority groups, or will they focus only on the major tribes? Nigerians must watch closely, because the risk is there that history can be shaped for politics. But if it is handled well, then this reintroduction can heal divisions instead of creating new ones. Please, if you have not yet clicked that like button, do it now and subscribe too, because we are still flowing and you don't want to miss it. Now let's touch the challenges. Reintroducing history is good, but the implementation is where the real test is. Teacher training is one. Government has said they are training about 3,700 teachers, but is that enough? Nigeria has thousands of schools spread across 36 states. If only a few teachers are trained, then many schools will not have the right capacity. Another challenge is resources. History needs good textbooks, clear curriculum, maybe even visual aids like maps, charts, and stories from museums. Without these, the subject may not feel interesting, and students may lose attention. Another challenge is political will. We know in Nigeria, sometimes a policy starts strong, but later it dies quietly because leaders change or money is not released. So we must keep our eyes open, and as citizens, we must ask questions and hold leaders accountable. And again, as you hear me say this, please like the video and subscribe, because with your support, we can keep these issues alive. Let's think about what this move means for national unity. If young Nigerians can learn about each other's history, not just their own tribe, then maybe they will grow up with more respect for diversity. A Yoruba child will learn about Igbo leaders. An Igbo child will learn about Hausa rulers. A Hausa child will learn about Yoruba innovators, and so on. This kind of knowledge can reduce suspicion and increase respect. That is how history can unite us. But the same history, if told wrongly, can divide us, so it must be handled with balance. And while you reflect on that, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because that simple act encourages us to keep going.